Hello, and welcome to our very first book club of 2019. I hope you guys had a great holiday and a happy new year. So a few things for tonight. I would love to hear what some of your goals are for the year. It could just be anything, or specifically, do you set reading goals for the year? I know some people like to set a certain number of books that they like to read in the year. Some people set goals of reading books off their shelves that they haven't read before. Some people like to set goals of reading classics. There are all sorts of different kinds of goals that you can set for your book reading. So I'm curious to know if you have any of those. So if you do, just enter those into the chat and I'll get to them in a little while. But for now, as we get started, I just wanted to tell you a few things that have been going on, and some holiday related and some that are for the new year as we are looking forward to that. So first off, Christmas books. All right, so here's where I also want to see your book selfies. I know you guys keep hearing about these. I would love to see books or pictures of the books that you guys got for Christmas. So I'm curious if you got books that were on your list or if you got some books that you weren't expecting. I actually won a gift card from Writer Moms Inc., which is a group that I absolutely adore. It's just a great group for moms who are writers, and we're all going through the same thing, juggling everything and trying to make it all work. And the ladies there are super supportive and super sweet. So anyway, I happened to win a gift card that they were giving away, and with that, I bought a book. And unfortunately, I don't have it with me tonight because I've let somebody borrow it because it's so good. But it is a book by another writer mom. Her name is Christy Decker, and the book is Final 42. And Christy Decker's husband is a police officer, and the book centers around police officers and their families, and it's just a really great read. It kind of helps you go behind the scenes of what that's like. So that's a really great book that I would highly recommend to anyone who enjoys books like that. You will definitely need tissues, so be prepared for that. But our other book selfies, that was Tolkien's Tale. You finally got to see Tolkien in one of our book club chats. He was sitting in the chair. That's why I was sitting weird, because I am ridiculous and won't make him move. So I sit uncomfortably because he was sitting in the chair. Now I can sit comfortably. All right, so some other books that we got for Christmas. I got for my husband, Capital Gains by Chip Gaines. You guys might know the show Fixer Upper from HGTV. So Chip and Joanna Gaines are just an amazing couple, and I've learned a lot just from watching their show and from seeing how they interact and how they work as, self-employed. They have their own business, they do their own thing. They also have their kids, and they bring their kids into the jobs that they do. And so that's really cool. So I got this for my husband, and he's enjoying reading it. I'm not sure how far, he's pretty far along in the book, and he might actually have some thoughts for you guys some other time, but I think he's enjoying it. And this is just Chip talking about his business experiences and some of the things that he's learned along the way. So it's a pretty cool book. And so my kids, each of the kids got 3 books, and some of these are books that they had requested. Some of them were just books that I thought that they would like. So for my daughter, who is 11, we got Whirlwind. Okay, that's the glare. There we go. Sorry. Try to keep from the glare on that lamp there. All right, so this is the sequel in, and I can't remember the name of the first book. Anyway, she had read the first book, Shadow Horse. There we go. The first book was Shadow Horse, and our library happened to have that book, but they didn't have the sequel. So she's been wanting to read this. So I found this online, actually got it used. So this was one of her books. And then she has been getting Nancy Drew books for a while now. She's up to number 11. All right, so The Clue of the Broken Locket. And I also got her, now let me put these down, The Beauty Thief. Okay, so you guys have heard me talk about this book before, but this looks different. And that's because Rachel Ritchie wrote the the novel, The Beauty Thief, and then she decided to do a picture book based on that novel, which is just the coolest idea ever, and I love it. And so I've been wanting to get this for Allie for a while. But the pictures in here are just gorgeous. Okay, so isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. So this is just a beautiful, beautiful book. And even though she's a little bit older now, this book is still going to be special. And of course, she can read the novel as well at this point. But anyway, I just thought that this was super special and super cool. So, and as you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, Rachel is the one who started the competition, the short story competition that I entered last year. And my short story, A Leverell Awakened, won second place and is featured in the Crux anthology. So if you guys are looking for a good book with short stories that are either fantasy or sci-fi, I would highly recommend the Crux anthology. And it's been fun to see some reactions from people about the book, all the different stories in it. In fact, the reason tonight's book club is a little bit later, I actually went out to dinner with a couple of friends of mine, and we were celebrating different things. The book for me, but for them, they both graduated as nurses, and I'm super excited and so proud of them. It's just awesome. But anyway, I got to sign their books for them, which was kind of cool. So that was the first time that I've signed books outside of my home, like in front of people. So that was a different experience. Of course, I was with friends, so it was fun. So then for my son, who is 9, but is a very advanced reader, we got him A Tragic Introduction, and this is by another writer mom friend of mine, Jessica C. Joyner, and she has written this whole series. I believe that there are 5 books. I really should have double checked that, but I'm pretty sure there are 5, and this is a Christian fiction for kids, for teens, but it's kind of a spy espionage series, which is kind of cool, and I have read this book, and it's very, very good. So I think that he will really like this. Oh, I forgot to tell you one thing. My daughter wanted me to be sure to tell you that she read all 3 of those books within a week of getting them. So it's very important for me to tell you that. All right, so A Tragic Introduction. And then we also got him, oh, where's the other one? Oh, there it is over there. Okay, we got him this, and my husband actually found this. He has gotten really into comic books, and especially The Flash. He loves The Flash. So this is, because some of the comics that you find nowadays are a little bit, they have content in them that I don't think are appropriate for kids. So these are kind of the old school original comics, which I guess some people would consider a little cheesy today, but I think they're great, and my son likes them. So this is kind of a thick book, but it's, I don't know, volume 1, so I guess there's another volume. Like I said, my husband picked this out, and he did a good job with it. So yeah, so pretty cool. And then the other one, now let me reach back here. Okay, so my son has also gotten really into the Dog Man series, okay, by Dave Pilkey, or Dav Pilkey, which one of these days I'm going to find out how he says his name. This is the guy who wrote the Captain Underpants books, all right? So Dog Man is similar with a lot of the potty humor that young boys think is so funny, and really, I mean, who grows out of that? So it's funny. We got this, it released on Christmas Eve, and Amazon's pretty cool. They actually got it to us the day before Christmas Eve, I think. So I was worried that he wouldn't get this in time for Christmas, but he did. So there you go, Dog Man. And this is the 6th book in the series. I think he has 5 of the 6 books, and he really likes these. So if your kids like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Captain Underpants, any of those kind of books, they would like these as well. And this is Dogman Brawl of the Wild instead of Call of the Wild. Yeah, thought that was kind of clever. All right, so as I continue, I'm going to talk a little bit about some plans for the new year. But while I'm doing that, if you guys have any requests for book recommendations, or you want to share some books that you guys are reading that you're really enjoying, go ahead and do that. Also, if you have book selfies, if you have some pictures of the books that you got for Christmas, or just want to share what you got, go ahead and put that in the comments as well. So you might have noticed today I just put book club live. Okay, so part of the reason for that is I'm changing the name of the book club. Everything else is going to stay the same with the exception of the name, and I'm also going to put a lot more time and emphasis into the book club. So I'm really excited about that. So if you guys have any ideas for how to make the book club better in the new year, I will continue on Mondays. I'll put up my posts and you guys can share what you're reading. You can share if you're looking for a specific book. And that was kind of my goal. You know, I love book clubs. I've been part of book clubs in the past, and I really love book clubs. But I know that going to a book club or having a particular book to read every month can be challenging for some people. So that's why I thought having something online, you don't have to be here every month, you don't have to show up every week, and you don't have to read a certain book. This is more for us to come together, and I can show you some books that I've been reading or that I've found out about or things like that, and you guys can do the same. And so we kind of learn from each other some books that we may not have found out about otherwise. Sometimes we get to a point where we're not sure what we want to read, or maybe we're wanting a certain type of book, and perhaps it's the genre that we don't typically read. And so this way we can kind of share and get some recommendations from people who, you know, we'll kind of get to know if we trust their recommendations or not. And it's funny because tonight we were talking about how sometimes people give you book recommendations and you go and you check them out and you're like, ooh, why did they recommend this to me? This is not good. So hopefully we won't have that here. Hopefully you guys will like the recommendations I give to you, or hopefully we can figure out what kind of books you like and make good recommendations based on that. So that's kind of always been my goal and my focus. I'm not quite ready to release the name of the book club, but it will be in place before next month for sure. I had a pretty large freelance job that I took on that took a great deal of time and wasn't exactly what I had planned. It took a lot of my holiday, put a lot of stress on my holiday too, but I'm almost done with that. And that's been a big reason that some of the things that I wanted to do before the first of the year just didn't get done. But that's okay. I've learned, if nothing else, I've learned flexibility is very important, especially with being a writing mom, a writer, which, to be honest, every writer probably has another job. So we're all faced with juggling and balancing all of these different things, plus just life in general, and things like that. So I've learned that flexibility is a huge thing in this line of work, in this chosen dream career. So that's something that I've had to take in a stride and understand as I've gone through the last several months that didn't necessarily turn out the way that I planned. But if you happen to catch my blog post last week, you'll find that these are all things that they may not have happened the way that I wanted to, and there are some things that I wish had happened before, and they haven't yet. But I'm understanding that everything happens at the right time for a reason. And this is something I've known forever, but you know how you have to have those things where you learn things along the way? Okay, this is one of those for me in this particular aspect of my life. But, you know, I know without a doubt that part of God's plan for me is to be a writer and to be a published author. But I also have learned that I have to be patient, and I have to understand that his timing is way better than mine ever was. So as I look back at the times where I wanted these things to have already happened, it wasn't the right time. And at those times, I was upset about it, and I thought, why isn't this happening? But as I am here now and I can look back, I see how it wasn't time. And waiting is just making it better. So I have to keep reminding myself of that. So my goal is to be published this year, to have my own book out this year. But all of that is dependent on setting up my press. So within the next couple of months, I should have more details for you guys as far as like when these things are actually going to happen and if it really will be this year. So I'm excited about finding those things out, doing the work to set up my press the right way, to have a firm foundation for it, and to find out if it'll be this year, like I'm planning, or if I have to wait a little longer. And if I have to wait a little longer, I can confidently say that I'm okay with that, because I've been able to see and look back at how the timing is always better than what I could plan anyway. So those are kind of a couple of my things. So that's really all I have for tonight. And like I said, we'll have a new name for next month, but it's the same book club. It's just going to be, I'm really going to pour a lot more time into the book club this year. So like I said, if you guys have any recommendations, any suggestions, I'm going to have another reading challenge in the summer, and I'm starting to work on details for that. So if you have any suggestions, if you have any recommendations of things to make it better, or things to add, or things to do, then just let me know. And like I said, I'll have the posts on Mondays, like I've been doing, and I'm going to be more intentional on making sure that I get those posts up on Twitter and Instagram as well. So, because I know some of you guys might have those accounts as well. Facebook will still be the hub, and this is where we'll still do the monthly chats like we're doing now. But I want to be more consistent with putting those posts up for people to exchange book suggestions and stuff like that on the other social media networks that I'm on as well. So feel free to chat after I get off. If you have questions about books that you're looking for, or anything like that that you want to share, or suggestions for the book club itself, just go right ahead and post it. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys next month. Have a great January.